Good morning, everyone. Thank you to everybody joining us. We're going to give you a few moments. I can see the numbers coming in there on the bottom of the screen, so we'll give you a few moments to get settled. Really appreciate you joining us this morning for our event. Great. Okay, we may just kick off now. We don't want to delay you. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Grow via Digital event. Delighted to have you join us. Looking forward to a great session this morning with our contributors and collaborators, and delighted that you've taken the time to join us out of your very busy schedule, of course. We do appreciate this time you're giving us. So my name is Kevin Sexton. I'm Head of Innovation at the new Alpha Innovation Project. And I suppose the Alpha Innovation Project is part of a significant investment by the Council in a new innovation quarter for Donegal, for the whole region, situated in Donegal in Letterkenny. And I suppose we'll be opening the doors and sometime down the road, not quite yet. But in the meantime, we're working hard to understand the needs of business, working with our partner enablers across the region, and everybody sort of focused on that goal of helping our existing businesses really expand and grow and find potential for efficiencies. Some of that is using digital, of course. It's hard to escape digital these days. If you're going to grow, it's almost impossible to do it without digital. So we're looking forward to a really great session today with wonderful contributors, and we'll get you in and out of here swiftly. The morning, just to give you a sense of how it works, before I introduce our collaborators, dividing into three parts today. So in the first part, we're going to hear some inspiring success stories. So what has worked, what is really working well for other businesses. I'll be handing over to Elaine to introduce the speakers, I should have said, but we'll be starting off that first part around the inspiring stories. So what is really happening? Proof and the data that being online does make a difference to your business. And of course, there'll be challenges and struggles and areas where maybe we don't have skills or we need a bit of support or help. And that's where we're hoping to understand. In the second part of our session, where we're going to hand over to you with a number of polls to find out where your businesses are, maybe where you want to be in future, where your ambition is, or are you quite happy with a little bit of growth, or you're very, very ambitious. And that learning from the interactive poll will help us understand where we can target our supports to you going forward. And we'll talk about two events that we'll have following up from this in future, in January and February. And then finally, we're going to end off the session with a really interesting section with Grace from Leo, who's going to tell us all about the great supports that are there already for businesses and that you can tap into. So really looking forward to hearing more about that. But first of all, before I hand over, I just want to encourage you to, get active on social this morning. If you would, please use the hashtag #DigitalFirstDay or hashtag Arise, ARISE, on Twitter, LinkedIn, and across other social media platforms. Today is part of a national event of digital events happening all across the country over the 3-day period. And we're delighted to be working together with Anne-Marie in the inishowen Innovation and also Margaret in Digital, Donegal Digital, as well as Grace and Leo. So I might just hand over to Anne-Marie, who's been a really great support in our collaboration so far, to maybe tell us a little more about you, Anne-Marie.
Thanks, Kevin. I'll keep it brief so we can get to the good stuff with our presenters. My name's Anne-Marie McLaughlin. I'm the Innovation Manager at the II, or inishowen Innovation. We are going to be opening a brand new digital innovation hub in Buncrana in early 2023. And in the meantime, we have an interim premises for remote, hybrid and hot desk workers in the main street in Buncrana. But our goal with the hub is to help new tech startups and to help small businesses get established in a shared environment that's not just a place of work, but somewhere that they can collaborate and learn and grow. So being involved in all the digital efforts going on around Donegal obviously is a big part of that. You can contact me through the II at any point, and just a little plug. Anyone can book up to 3 free days working as a remote worker in the hub, in the interim premises right now through Connected Hubs. Just on behalf of Margaret Quinn, who was planning to be with us to represent Donegal Digital, Margaret works with ERNACT in collaboration with Donegal County Council and 13 organisations, government agencies, community groups, who are all working on digital transition for Donegal, which means increasing digital research and innovation and building strong digital communities. So they've been doing things like increasing public Wi-Fi access, free access points, and promoting local businesses and the innovation hubs, and encouraging interaction between research and businesses to help promote and secure the digital future of the county. And you can get more information about them on donegaldigital.ie. So as we go along today, while the speakers are talking, if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. As Kevin said, we will be running a couple of polls to get your input as well. So that's all from me for now. I'll pass it back to Kevin.
Fantastic, Anne-Marie, and it's great having you on board, and we're really excited for the Inishowen Innovation Centre to open. So I think you'll have a lot of people hammering down your doors there, and nice to hear the sort of supports that are there and all the hard work that Donegal Digital are doing as well. So folks, there are a lot of great supports. I think what we find across the region as enablers is that, you know, often people maybe don't tap into them as much as they should, but there's a wealth of support available here. So as Anne-Marie says, tell us where you're struggling. We will be watching the chat during the session. Elaine and Connor will be analysing that, and we'll be getting a theme at the end, a flavour to understand where those next 2 events should be. So we want to respond to your needs. I'm going to hand over to Elaine, who's going to keep us all on track and the MC for the rest of the session. So Elaine, thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you for that, Kevin. My name is Elaine Worski, and I'm the Assistant Economic Development Officer with Donegal County Council. And I'm delighted to introduce our first speaker, who is Connor Doherty. Connor is a Marketing and Communications graduate with the Economic Development Unit here in Donegal County Council. He is one of the lead drivers behind the #BuyDonegal campaign for 2 years now, among many other initiatives which have been hugely successful. This year's Buy Donegal campaign launched last week in Micklehennies in Ballybofey, and it will run until the 24th of December. We'll hear all about the impact and the value that this campaign has had on local businesses across the county and why it's so important to get involved from Connor.
Thanks very much, Elaine, for the introduction. So yeah, hopefully everyone can see my screen. So I'm going to keep it nice and brief today, guys, and go through the campaign, the rationale behind it, the results from the last 2 years, and how other businesses can get involved as well, and go digital. So hopefully everyone's able to see my screen here anyways, but this is our poster for this year. So to give you a bit of a rationale behind how the Buy Donegal campaign came about, it came about, it's a council-led initiative, and it first launched as a weekend back in 2020. So it was a way that the councillors had approached the Economic Development Unit and wanted to kind of understand if there was a way that businesses could be supported throughout the pandemic. So this is what was thought up. So my colleague Stephen Perry, along with Joy Harron and a couple of other members in the council, came together with the initiative and launched the first Buy Donegal campaign in 2020 as a weekend, as well as producing a website where businesses were listed. It provides an opportunity for businesses to highlight their offerings to a global audience. So we all know about the pull that's available online and the reach, and I'm going to go into that in more detail later. But it offers businesses in Donegal that platform where they can get their business and get their services out there, and their products. It also provides an incentive for consumers to shop local over the festive period. So not just in Donegal, but across Ireland. So we would be running sponsored ads in Dublin, Belfast, in different places, trying to tap into the diaspora and showcasing the offering that Donegal has. And also we've created an umbrella branding and hashtags, which encourages collaboration between local businesses. So we have a strong kind of graphics and creatives that a lot of the businesses are using, and they're, you know, it's a unified umbrella of marketing that's going out across all the different social media platforms, which we'll go into in more detail, and you'll see those in the next couple of slides. So the impact on the 2021 campaign on local businesses, we saw that 97% of businesses from a survey of all the businesses who had took part would do another Buy Donegal campaign again, and that's our rationale behind doing the campaign again this year. As Elaine mentioned, it launched on Friday at McElhinney's over Highland Radio, and we've had a great response so far, which we'll go into in more detail later. 63% of the businesses says that Buy Donegal was successful for them. And just to give you an example, so 54% noticed that they saw an increase of 10% or more on sales versus the same period in the previous year. So that's really positive for us to see that we're assisting, and we're there's a monetary value going to that as well. The consumer feedback as well from 2021. So we reached out to consumers to get their thoughts on the campaign. So 46% of consumers said they'd purchase €75 or more with participating Buy Donegal businesses that they'd seen through our website and through our socials. 43% bought 2 or more products, which is really positive as well. And we reached nearly 14 million people on social media with nearly 60,000 interactions, and there was over 6,000 mentions of Buy Donegal in 2021 during the campaign. So the campaign runs for 6 weeks between November right the way through until Christmas Eve. And it's really positive to see the outpouring there from the businesses and the consumers on the campaign. I suppose we had a quick review of the opening weekend earlier in the week. And we've already reached about 3.1 million social media accounts, almost 1,000 mentions and 8,500 interactions on posts that went out over the opening weekend and up until today. And here's just an example of one of the posts. So this is Ailish Galbraith. She's a creator from Buncrana, and she comes up with homewares. And sorry, I thought that was going to play there, but just to give you an example. So this is just an example of some of the orders that she sent out over the Buy Donegal weekend. So she ran a 10% off online using the promo code Buy Donegal. And she was just thanking everyone there on her Instagram stories for purchasing products over the weekend. So that's the real impact for us, seeing those local suppliers get stuff out. It's really great to see. So here's an example of the creative that I spoke about earlier, that shared unified creative. And this is Cult at the top and Luke Barber at the bottom, who've used the creative effectively for the campaign. So I think it's a really strong showing. But how to get involved? So if you sign up at donegal.ie /business portal, you'll be able to create a business listing that'll appear on buydonegal.com and donegal.ie. And from there, then we run, paid ads to different markets for Buy Donegal, and people go into the website and are able to see your business listing. You're also able to add special offers on there as well. And with Green Friday coming up this weekend, it's a perfect Green Friday and Black Friday, coming up this weekend. It's a perfect opportunity for businesses to upload their special offers through our site. Also able to download the Buy Donegal creatives on our website and check out some tutorials and how-to guides via the business portal. And then don't be afraid to use the hashtag Buy Donegal and Canny Donegal as well to showcase your business or the products that you purchased. So that's everything from my end, guys. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here and I'll pass you back to Elaine. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat.
That's great, Connor. Thank you so much for that. And we'll get chatting more about that later. Our next speaker is Adele McBride, a creative entrepreneur with over 30 years of experience in craft-based enterprise, designing and creating handmade knitwear in Donegal. Adele is renowned globally for expert craftsmanship, sustainability, championing traditional knitting skills and education within the sector. And she's also a director for the National Agency Design Craft Council of Ireland. We'll hear more about her incredible entrepreneurial journey over the last over 30 years, the challenges and the opportunities that she has faced being based in a region such as Donegal, and how the hashtag Buy Donegal campaign has impacted her business.
Good morning. I believe being involved in Buy Donegal from 2020, when it was a very exciting weekend, and I initially had some reservation about the blend of product being so broad. I mean, it was nice to be inclusive of everyone, but you're so driven now in areas and the reality of sustainability and the journey. I work very, very hard on the journey of the product from its spark and its design right through to what it delivers for the customer in their wardrobe, hopefully for the rest of their lives. And it was very interesting because myself personally, I decided to jump in and see what would happen. And I really liked the idea that given it's rooted in Donegal, the brand is Donegal, which is, we know how fabulous that is. Everyone wants to have a connection to here. So the brand Donegal is in a great place internationally. And it's been interesting because while there is that mix of product that not everything may be essentially completely made here, you are buying it from here and you might be supporting a local supermarket on the corner. You're still supporting family life here. You're still supporting business life here. Challenges personally for me were things like it's so overwhelming, let's say, with websites and what you put on there. It really can become quite paralyzing on the mind. It's easier to run away from it. And I've basically been trying to have a website all my life. I think since before websites were invented. I think we registered a .com in 1998 or something crazy like that. I know I sat in training and in discussions with very well-informed business people who argued and who even laughed when I said we would sell clothing online. That was 20 years ago. Well, hello, I love to remind them of that. I'm just back from some very, very exciting discussions at the Web Summit, where again, I feel like running away because you have companies that are doing super business in digital fashion. And the type of language that's out there is that we may not need actual real clothing. So again, this is such an exciting area, and it's been wonderful to hear this morning about the Innovation Centre, because I'd love to take up on those 3 days along there and investigate some of the new things I've been learning there.
That's brilliant. That's so good to hear. And you've kind of touched a little bit on some of the challenges that you have faced. What do you find the most challenging thing about setting up online? And how did you overcome these challenges?
Okay, so I think it's across the board for everyone and in every small business. It's time and money. Time and money are always going to be like very precious resources, and you're always going to be drawn to the daily realities of what needs done to be open the following day. And you've really got to step back and kind of try to take that bigger picture. And even, for instance, this week where we have the first National Design Week, you've got to sometimes look at some of the things you really need to do and drop some of the essentials that you're going to have to spend some late night working on. So I think what can make it easier to overcome the challenges are you don't try to be the expert on everything. I mean, I've done day courses on even Shopify and on things. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a tech engineer. I'm not going to be brilliant at any of that. But I do need what I would say to somebody, let's say in a fashion position or in a craft position or in a maker position. And collaboration is very, very important. I'm here with my Laura Buchanan personalized so your some doll for $1 mug, and I'm glad to see Eilish Galbraith so involved, because I got loads of gorgeous printed fabric from Eilish. But what really helped me format my site with the help of the training online voucher, the second one at the end of 2020, and had I not done that at the end of 2020, where it restarted me and became 80% of my sales at that time, I looked at what I loved aesthetically out there. So you can pick 1 or 2 brands. They can be have a really high-end aesthetic. You might feel nothing much in common. I like Gucci. I liked another brand, and I thought, what are they doing? How does it look? They were ones that I liked, and I thought I can create that aesthetic in my way fairly easily. Then I looked at 1 or 2 companies purely for functionality. So I thought, I like how I shop on this site, and I narrowed it down, and that was the kind of brief. Then when I worked with someone who helped me get it all online, I had a clear brief. No, I like the colors on this, because they, people, you can give out a brief and people come back to you with like baby pink and mint green, and you're like, how did they come up with that? I'm not baby pink mint. So you've got to be clear and give some clear visual direction. Work with somebody, whether it's family or elsewhere. The team have been brilliant at Buy Donegal. Another positive of jumping in on Buy Donegal was that there's a whole bunch of work that's already done for you. All you've got to do is go and share your work on there. And you've got Connor and the team with the work already done.
That's brilliant. And do you have any advice that you would give to any new businesses who are looking to get on their digital journey the way you have?
I would say, it's a common term out there now, about the noise, and you've got to find some way to get above it. I was just looking, and last year what worked for us, albeit we were kind of selling in other ways again, and so digital now wasn't 80%, like overall it was maybe 50%. That would have dropped again this year, but that's something now from now to year end that we're completely focused on again. And so my advice would be to get above that noise a bit, that it's good to have your own brand ambassador. It might be your mum, it might be your neighbor. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be focused on getting some famous person. It has to be someone that shares your values. They could be in sport or whatever, and get that person working with you. Like, reach out to them and get them working on helping you. Last year, the singer and actress Lisa Lamb put up a Buy Donegal post that was really gorgeous. She used the hardware or the tool set that Connor created, and I didn't even expect that she would do all that, and it was really beneficial. And because it's nice to have someone else shout about your product. This year, I was even surprised to see that on our website we created a discount code Buy Donegal 100, and that 2,500 of sales had used that code. They had to spend €100 to avail. It was free shipping, so if they spend €100 they get free shipping. And it meant that maybe over 20 people used that code in a short space of time in November. So this year I've made it hashtag Buy Donegal Edel for free shipping, and we'll promote that. And yeah, finding ways to just differentiate within the Buy Donegal campaign.
That's fantastic, Adele. It's so great to hear about your journey and hearing how you've overcome some of the obstacles that you have in terms of the going digital and interacting with the Buy Donegal campaign. And I hope it goes really well for you this year, even better than last year.
Can I just mention that I think it's really important for service businesses as well, and to look at subscription models towards your service, and that is something else that I'm looking at. And I just think it's not just for product and gift.
That's fantastic. And now we will hand over to Anne-Marie McLaughlin for the interactive session.
Thanks, Elaine. That was great. Edel, scribbling down notes here. I think you've given a lot already to the discussion that we're going to have, hopefully. But what we're going to do now is to get some input from those of you on the webinar. And so the goal with the polls that we're doing today, and they'll only take you a few seconds. We separate them into two sections, but the first one really is to figure out where you are, what's going on with you, what stage you're at in using digital for your business. So overall, what we want to do is find out where you're, to get your input on where the difficulties lie, what aspects are most challenging, and then obviously what we can do to help with that, because that's the whole goal here is to help and to plan other sessions that are going to help you through to progress and move on with your digital experience in your business. So the first poll should be on your screen now, and it's about your current status. So we're asking you what kind of level of online presence your business has currently, and then what percentage of total sales come from online sources. And then we want to get an idea of how much you are looking to grow that percentage, what your ambitions are. If you're currently not online at all, are you, looking to start and just put a small percentage of your business online, or are you hoping to go digital with everything? So if you can submit those, then we can take a quick look at it and see what is coming in based on your responses. So Connor, are we getting responses in there?
Yes, so there's quite a few responses coming through at the minute.
Okay, great.
We're just going to hold off for just another couple of minutes because they're still coming through.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, and then so after we get your input on this one, just to see where things are, we'll have a quick chat just about the results of what comes in on that. And then we will put up the second one, which again will only take a few seconds, just to see a little bit more detail about, where your challenges are. And, Idel has already gone through some of that and some of hers and how she's dealt with them, and some suggestions for continuing on in that experience and that journey. So we're looking then for if there are some specifics on what you need help with, that's what the next poll will take care of, to get that information so that we can steer our follow-up sessions to what is going to help you specifically.
So we've just had over half answer now, so we'll just leave it another 30 seconds, and then
Okay.
we'll close this poll and we'll open the other one.
Sounds good. Just in the meantime, while we're just giving them another few seconds, the questions and answers. I saw there was a question there that Connor's already interacting and answering the questions that have come up there about social aspects of By Donegal. So it's businesses and services that are being sold, that are being included in the By Donegal. So some examples as well Connor has given in there. And then we have another question then about other places to sell, which again is one of the things that we've discussed as well. Not necessarily that everyone isn't necessarily going to want to set up their own website. There are other places where they can sell their products. Things like Etsy and Market Street. So thank you, Stephen, for that.
Anne-Marie, I might initially share the results just of the first.
Absolutely.
And then we'll jump into the second poll. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Were you guys able to see now the results?
Yeah, I can see them. Those are shared with everyone. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so the first one, what level of online presence? So it looks like 3/4 are on social platforms. 38% are listed in By Donegal. So over half have their own website, which is an informative website, and half actually are selling on their website as well, which is pretty impressive, really. So yeah, that gives a good indication. Social obviously is a big factor. And so we'll need to take a look at how we improve those numbers, and the discussion that we need to have as well about websites and whether creating and setting up your own website is the way that everyone wants to go, or using some of the other services. So percentages of total sales coming from online sources. It's a mixed bag there, really. We have 13% that are at 0 right now. And then a quarter each are between 1 and 25%, and then 75 to 100. So yeah, very much a sort of a mixed bag all across the range there of current online sales. And wishing to increase, well, nobody doesn't want to increase. Nobody has no ambition to increase their sales, so that's a good sign. So by 10 to 20%, 38% people responded. And then 25% would aim to do all of their sales or bookings online. So yeah, some interesting feedback there. It's good to see that we have a range across these questions as well, because we want to interact both with people who are just getting started and people who have online sales experience as well. So that's great. All right, Connor, do you want to jump in? I'm conscious of the time here to jump into the next one.
I'm going to go ahead and launch the second one. So I think you guys should see that on the screen now.
Yeah, that's up nice. So this one is to get your input on what are the challenges, whether you're just getting started again, or if you've had experience with online. So yeah, just 2 questions on this one. So what are your biggest challenges, and what type of sessions or interactive workshops, webinars, what kind of thing would help you with dealing with that? So that'll only take, as I said, a few seconds to respond. So in the meantime, we can move on. So I'm going to hand back to Elaine.
That's great, Anne-Marie. And we'll move on to our final speaker. So the speaker is an important ally for the business community in Donegal. Grace Corbell is the Assistant Head of Enterprise with Donegal Local Enterprise Office. The Local Enterprise Office here provides a huge range of supports to both businesses that are already in business and also budding entrepreneurs that are at the beginning of their journeys. We'll hear about the wide range of supports available that they have to help you at whatever phase your business is at, and how you can apply, and also the value that these supports will have for your business going forward.
Thank you, Elaine. I'll just begin here. Will I share my screen?
Yep, perfect.
Yeah. Grace, I've just made you host there now, so you should be able to share. Yeah.
Sorry, I just can't get rid of this poll. Now, how are you? So my name is Grace Corbell. I am the Assistant Head of Enterprise here in the Local Enterprise Office. We have a number of supports available for businesses pre-start, when they're starting up the business and expanding their business here in Donegal. But one of the most accessible supports we have is a trading online voucher to get your business online. So the trading online voucher has been around since 2016. In Donegal, in the Donegal Local Enterprise Office, we have supported 800 businesses in Donegal with trading online vouchers. That has been worth over 1.8 million to the local economy. So we have been very successful in awarding supports and getting the supports out there to the small business community to get them online. So how does your business qualify for a trading online voucher? You need to have less than 10 employees at the date of application, a turnover of less than 2 million, and you need to be trading for at least 6 months. You also have to list your NACE company type code, and your business has to be based in the county that you're applying to, because the trading online vouchers are available from every local enterprise office throughout the country. So types of ineligible companies, for instance, if you were a professional services company specialising in IT, type service who would be already capable of trading online using your own in-house systems. So why e-commerce? Why should you get your business online? When Irish people are spending over €1 million per hour per day online. So this is up to 3.4 billion. from October, and that's statistics from the central bank. So consumer behaviour, the Digital Consumer Behaviour Household Survey said that 75% of males have bought online, 83% of females have bought online, 80% have bought shoes or clothing, 50% bought ready-made food, 30% have bought sports goods. 80% have used internet phoning or video calls, 31% did online courses, 93% are using email, and 83% read online news. So 88% find information for goods on services online. So really it is vital for your business to be there to transition. So what can you sell online? You know, you can sell vast amounts of things, not only products, as Adele mentioned, services, you can bookings. If you're a service provider, you can have bookings for your service online, which people can pay for. Consultations, you can pay for courses, for information, you can sell information. You can sell gift vouchers is another thing that a lot of small businesses did a lot of trade coming up to Christmas, selling gift vouchers on their website. So the vouchers are available. So the max is 2,500 net of VAT, which is claimable of 50% of expenditure. So for instance, if you spend €5,000 or more, you receive a max of 2,500. If you spend 4,000, you would receive 2. If you spend 6, you would receive 2,500. So 2,500 is max for each voucher, but you can apply for 2 vouchers. So what we find is a lot of small businesses really only find out what works when they go have their first website. They find the right subscription model, they find the right web developer. So really they find that perhaps they haven't made a lot of income maybe on our sales on their first website, but the second time is really when they get it right. They've learned from the mistakes of the first one, and that's when it really becomes a viable method for trading online. So the second voucher, again, is exactly the same, 50% to a maximum of 2,500. So work that's eligible for both vouchers, IT consultation. So it has to be an e-commerce focus. There has to be something that you're putting on that website to sell. So it can be development or upgrading of an existing e-commerce website, or a development or upgrading of a brochure website. It can be internet related software, CMS system. It can be for a digital marketing strategy, developing a mobile app, online advertising, up to 30% of eligible spend, and photography up to 80% of eligible spend. So how are the applications evaluated in the Local Enterprise Office? It's a competitive process, so selection is based on the following criteria. Number 1, your eligibility for the scheme. The value added potential to your business. Is there any export potential? Is there job creation potential? And is your business financially sustainable? So we record decisions, and then you have to report then to the Local Enterprise Office on the success of your website post your voucher. So you then get a letter of offer. You have to sign the letter, you send it back, and you have up to 6 months to complete the work. And if something, for instance, sometimes people cannot, the scope of the project changes. Maybe they have some hitches along the way. Maybe the web developer isn't delivering what they said that they were going to be delivering. And that's all fine, but you need to keep in contact with your executive in the Local Enterprise Office, explain to them what's happening, and we are always available and there to help you with any problems that you have. How do we process your claim? So you have to pay for the work up front. So what you then need is an up-to-date tax clearance certificate. You need to provide us with the invoices from your supplier. We need to see the CRO details and tax registration number of your supplier. And we also need then to see the proof of payment to your supplier. So that has to be through your bank statement or a credit card. So how do you fill out this application form? You need to put concise, accurate information. You need to a completed form speeds up the approval, because if there is your executive and the Leo has to go over and back getting you to fill in aspects of the form, then it is going to slow up the process. We do need 3 proper quotes for the work required, so that even can be an email to 3 or 4 companies requesting the quotes. So going online, know what you want the website to do for your company. You know, is this website going to deliver sales? Is it going to develop leads? Is it going to stop you, make you more productive in your workplace when you're constantly answering questions from your clients? You want to provide that information online. So you do need to set goals and expectations of what this website's going to do. You need to allocate a budget. And you need to ask questions and get advice, and the local enterprise office can assist you with that. You can apply for mentoring prior to getting the website to help you with a spec of what you need. And then a really important thing is finding the web company that you want to work with and that you can work with. And there's a lot of different providers out there, and that does take time to find the right person and the right fit for your business. You also need to have the time, and it's very difficult for small business people to have the time to work on the site through the process of getting it live and after the site is live, because a lot of the time there's glitches, and you need to have the time, either yourself or somebody within the business, to make it their responsibility to look after it, because the websites and internet is constantly changing. So opportunities to trade online, you need to engage a developer to create the website. You can develop, you know, there's different ways to do this. So you can either engage a developer, you can develop your own using an online platform, or you can do marketplaces such as Amazon, eBay, or Etsy, or social media, Facebook apps, or a combination of the above, which is multi-channel. And we find that most of our clients who have success online use a multi-channel approach to going online. Domain name and preparation. So you need to know the domain that you want for the market that you're targeting. You know, Ireland.ie, UK, co.uk, USA, global.com. Is it an organisation.org or netonline.net? So you need to have your logo in high-res format and any images you want to use. You need to have your content ready, about us, product, service details, and you need to have a timeline to project manage it. Shopping cart software, I suppose there's different. If you're engaging a developer, the most common platforms we see used are WordPress, PrestaShop, Magento, or OpenCart. So the above needs to be installed on your website hosting package. And then subscription hosted service, BigCommerce, Shopify, Squarespace, Teachable, 3D Cart, Volution. So the above is usually hosted by the company that has developed it and is subscription based. The trading online voucher can be used for subscription models. You do, though, have to pay upfront for a max of 2 years for subscription models to then claim your 50% of expenditure back from the local enterprise office. Functionality and third-party integration. E-commerce software comes with basic functionality. Other options you may want to add on is an online chat, pop-up message chat to assist with answering questions, multiple currencies, the ability to upload files, specific delivery, time slots, cutoff points, electronic point of sales, and accounting integration with QuickBooks, etc. So design and navigation, it's essential that your website is easy to navigate. 3 clicks is what they say, and a quick to load, 5 seconds, and you really need quality imagery and video, and your website has to be mobile responsive. Content and SEO, you need to have quality content ready. So search engine optimization, this is the ability for your site to be found organically through search engines for optimal keywords and phrases. For instance, if people are searching for raincoats, and they might use the term ladies raincoats. So 70% of people searching on Google don't look past the first results page. And voice search, that is really becoming absolutely more essential now for something you to factor in. Also, you need to do research into online payment options. There are a lot of options available, and they have a lot of different costs to your business. So that is something you really need to do research on. Are you going to use Revolut? Are you going to use PayPal? Are you going to use Stripe, Shopify, etc.? Website management and support. This is something you also really need to take into account as a small business. It's a massive project to get your business online, but then there's ongoing website management and support that you do need to factor in. There's updating of the content, removing old content, adding new content, text, video, images, software updates, patches, plugins, apps, technical issues if the site goes down, functionality, payment issues, ongoing testing, training, backup, and support. Is the website developer, have you included that in your request to quote from the website developer? Because it's something that we see a lot of small businesses then having ongoing issues with. The second year costs, so consider second year costs, which might be the hosting, the updates, technical support, apps and plugin. They can also be included in the costs for your voucher. So the next step to get a Trading Online voucher is to attend an information session. We host these once a month. They are on the second Wednesday of every month. The next date is mid-December. You should draw up a brief outline, a half page of what you require. The website has to be e-commerce. Think about hosting, the design and development, content training, the payment, and after the go live support, because that's something that that is quite common for small businesses to have the difficulties after. Photography, you really need good photography for your website, and 80% of your costs can go towards photography. So that's it for me. If anybody has any questions, I would be delighted to answer them.
Hi, Grace. That was brilliant. Thank you so much. That was a great overview of all the supports that the LEO has to offer businesses and how they can get in contact and what they need to do to be ready for that. One question that I had is, from your own experiences in the LEO office, what do you find that businesses find most difficult? And what do they need the most assistance with prior to securing the funding? As for someone who might not have engaged before, it might seem quite technical from the outset.
Well, websites are technical, you know, there's no doubt about that. A lot of small business perhaps don't have that expertise. They can engage with a mentoring support to help them draw up a spec. But we think the whole process for getting a Trading Online voucher really, I suppose, exposes the small business to the different options available, because they are required to get 3 quotes. A lot of businesses say to us, you know, this is so burdensome, something that they don't want to do. But we explain to them it actually helps them understand the different things that are available, the different ways to get their business online, the different options that are available. And it gives them good exposure to that by discussing their needs with different web developers, getting quotes from them, seeing what's available, seeing the different prices. But, you know, it is not a lot of small businesses don't have this expertise. It is difficult, but it is essential. You know, a website validates who you are as a business. People, even though you may have social media channels, before people buy from you, they will check, do you have a website? And it gives credibility to your business when you have one. But as a lot of businesses successfully have gone through the scheme in Donegal, over 800 businesses now at this stage have successfully got a Trading Online voucher. So, you know, and they're doing very well, you know, with their sales, even getting international sales. And then it's a learning process and a learning curve.
That's fantastic. And thank you again for your insight into that. Now I'll hand over to
Lane,
Kevin.
do you mind if I ask a quick question?
Oh, absolutely, Kevin.
From Grace there, sorry. Grace, I just want to ask you, look, a comment and also a question. First of all, the stats that you had are incredibly impressive. €1 million an hour. It really says, it tells a very compelling story in terms of why businesses just can't simply ignore digital, or you're ignoring those huge percentages of people they're buying, and your infographic was really astounding. I suppose I just have a quick question around that piece of the supports and also what businesses are struggling with. The piece that I really love also is the second iteration, that you can make your mistakes the first time around, find out what's not working, and then, you know, adjust the second time, be more successful. Do you find businesses on that technical side, are they using any of the existing platforms we see advertised a lot, like Squarespace or those platforms that it promised to make it a bit easier and a lot less technical?
It's a bit of we have a bit of a mixed bag. You know, we have different, it all depends on the business and the business needs. A lot of people are using Shopify. A lot of people are using WordPress. And really it all depends, but a lot of business people, small business owners that we deal with, the 0 to 10, don't have the time themselves or the expertise in-house. So a lot of them would, it's external providers who support them with this. And it is something that they need to factor in. It's the ongoing costs of the website, you know, maintaining it, which is difficult.
Great, thank you. Yeah, not letting it go stale, I suppose, is one of the other challenges.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Grace. Thanks, Elaine. Sorry to butt in.
No, that was a great question. So it was great to have it. We might hand over now to Kevin and Anne-Marie to analyse the results of the polls.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Elaine. First of all, I want to say thank you very much to all the speakers and panelists. I mean, the stats that we had from Connor at the very beginning in terms of the success and the fact that almost half of people said they would definitely buy again, and half of those that said consumers that had bought more than once. I think that just sort of talks to those stats in the infographic from Grace as well, in terms of it's not just a sort of a once-off, it's a repeat, it's a pattern, it's a habit that people have formed, probably, I suppose, spurred on by our move during the pandemic to more digital ways of doing things. So maybe those stats a number of years ago would have looked different, but they're really, really, as I said to Grace, impossible to ignore now for any business. And the word vital really jumped out at me, Grace. And also, just in terms of the polls, I'll hand that over to Anne-Marie to look after that. But some very, very interesting insights coming there. But just before we do that, what I would say is to all our audience, please do tap in those questions, tell us where you're struggling, because some of the poll insights told us that a lot of people are online. In fact, many businesses here today are online. So is there an area that you're struggling with that we've missed in one of the questions that you really would like to draw our attention to? Because we will be analyzing the chat to find out where we need to be shaping those future workshops. But I'll hand over to you, Anne-Marie. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we're coming up against time here, so I'm going to just go very quickly through this. So the questions that we asked, the first one was your biggest challenges. So it looks like marketing is the biggest one there, and obviously, you know, being online is a major hurdle, but then letting everyone know about it and what you have there is a major part of it as well. And again, maintenance and flexibility. And I did, if we had more time, did have a question for Grace as well. I'll just ask it briefly now and we'll follow up afterwards. Was just that because having been involved in website development previously, your set of lists and questions and things that people need to consider was excellent. And I think it would make things much easier if there was a template that included all of that. I think maybe you already have that. But as far as, you know, for businesses sending an RFQ out to a company when they don't know anything technical, having even just that list of things that your website needs to have and needs to incorporate.
Sorry, Anne-Marie, but we actually we give that to all our clients.
Okay, that's brilliant. Yeah, and I'm sure that's hugely helpful for them. Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, so that incorporates again, you know, as Grace said, you know, putting your stuff out there and making sure that people are aware of it. So that's the marketing aspect, and then maintenance and monitoring and flexibility. So these are the things that have been talked about today are the top challenges. It's not just a matter of getting yourself online, it's marketing once you're there and then maintaining it once you've got things up there. So this type of sessions that would be helpful. The winner there is the practical how-to on setting up and selling online. So again, it's the practicalities, I think, and the technical aspects. And as Kevin mentioned as well, that whether you do your own website, get someone to set that up for you, or use one of the online options for trading. So more real world examples, I think that always helps. You know, hearing from the people who've done it and are currently doing it, and what they're doing. So yeah, it looks like pretty much everything that we suggested as potential sessions have a lot of support from the participants here. So we're 40 and above for real world examples, practical how-tos, additional information on funding and supports, and social media. So Kevin, I'll hand back to you. Some other comments on that?
Great. Thank you very much, Anne-Marie. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. It's been a really informative session. Grace, a lot of really valuable information there for the businesses. And I really, as I said earlier, I love that piece of the second iterative, potential to adjust and improve your results by having that second voucher, which is really, really a great resource to be able to tap into. Great to hear from yourself, Edel. It was fantastic to hear from those. And I think the poll also suggested that people want to hear more of those inspiring stories. So you've obviously been a hit today as well. So really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for that. We will, as we said at the very offset, have a number of sessions going forward to respond to some of the insights we've had around those inspiring stories, but also around the marketing, if that's the challenge, and driving people to your website. So on the 19th of January and the 16th of February, we have 2 workshops coming up, and we will shape them directly towards what we've heard today. If there's anything else that you haven't seen covered and you want us to shape a future workshop around, we will do that if there is enough of an appetite from the audience. So we may just follow up an email from everybody to everybody who's registered to let you know, again, a reminder of those dates and also what we'll be covering when we've shaped this workshop. But thank you to everybody that's contributed today. Thank you to everybody to make the event happen. To Anne-Marie McLaughlin, thank you very much for the collaboration. Grace Corbell from Leo, thank you very much for working with us. Great insights, and I'm sure your doorbell will be ringing around those supports. Also to Margaret Quinn in Ernacht, who and Donegal Digital, who's not here. It's been great working with her, of course, as well. Reach out to any of us directly. We're all working as a team, so you can get your information to us. And then also to Edel, as I said, for the great inspiring talk. Connor, thank you so much for the insights from the Donegal campaign, which is still live, and encourage everybody to check it out. As a consumer, be one of those consumers so that you're on that stat next time. And finally to yourself, thank you very much, Elaine, for all your hard work in the background and for keeping us all on track today. And finally, to everybody who's joined us, we really appreciate your time. I think we promised to get you out in 50 minutes. We're just a little bit over that, but I appreciate your patience. And I hope you'll join us for our next event and bring somebody else along. If there's another business that you know that is ambitious, that has that appetite, this is all about sharing resources, understanding what's working so that we can all do more of what's working and less of what's not working. So by working and sharing that knowledge together, we'll see fantastic stats going forward next year. I hope I haven't left anybody out. Elaine or Connor, please interrupt me if I have.
Kevin, we might actually just answer one of the questions because we've got a question in from an anonymous attendee, so we won't be able to follow up. So it just says here, I don't know if you can see it in the Q&A, Kevin. Are you able to see it?
I don't believe I can. Let me just have a look and see.
I might read it out here anyways, and hopefully somebody will be able to pick up an answer. So it's, if you're a craftsperson and do not have an NACE company code, what are the options a person who is digitally set up and is interactive on social media?
That's a question for me there, Connor. The NACE code is your company classification code, and when you're set up as a sole trader, which most small crafts people are, you most likely don't have one, and that's also fine. But you just have to what you have to give us is evidence of trading for the previous 6 months. Okay.
Brilliant. That's great, Grace. Thanks very much for that. That's super. And that's all the questions that have come through, guys. Anything else we will follow up on?
Excellent. Thank you, Connor. Okay. Thank you all so much for your attention. We look forward to seeing you in our next session, which will be emailed out to you. But for now, thank you to everybody and have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.